Boom.
Boom, Robbie. How are we
Yay.
doing?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
No,
Yeah.
you see, you're looking pretty as usual. Still need to shave, but that's all good.
Yeah, I'm not shaving. I mean, even my mom actually, got used to the fact that her son is gonna be a bearded man
Uh,
one
and
day.
on that note, welcome everybody to the show. The handsome devil you see in front of you is me, and then that's him over there. He's called Rob. I'm H. Um, Robbie, would you like to say hello to everybody?
Yeah, hi everyone. Good to have you back. It's been a great day today. Um, yeah. So what are we
I
doing, H?
must say, bro, your hair, if you turn sideways, you look very dapper, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You know what? This is a. I chose this pair of headphones very carefully because I don't really like these. These are the Razer Krakens. They're great headphones, but they're kind of too heavy, right? So I actually like these a bit more. These are a pair of Sony headsets, but if you see, like the headband is a bit
Yep.
narrow. This one has a beefy headband. I prefer the beefy headband because, as I said, I'm a middle-aged man and a lot of gray stuff is showing up.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I was thinking about this the other day, and when you said that you're a middle-aged man, I totally agree.
Thank
In my humble opinion, I think it's time for a wig soon. The way it's going.
No,
For
no,
you.
no. Like receding hair, I'm all good. Like, look, you see?
No, no, it's not
Okay,
bad.
I'm all right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
wearing the Bulls logo, I like it.
Yeah. I'm wearing the Slav uniform. Not because I'm
Nice.
Slav, but like apparently, if you wear an Adidas tracksuit, you're either Slav or a drug dealer. So I wanted to prove the stereotype wrong.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
and we will not that happening.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were discussing last time between you and me about films, and we had this conversation off air, and we thought it'd be a good idea to talk about this. And I'd like to say that to the viewers that we are going to talk about Star Wars, the best Star Wars film. Now, he's wrong completely before he starts talking. And I'd like to say that the best Star Wars film, in my humble opinion, has got to be The Empire Strikes Back.
Crickets.
No, well,
Silence.
silence. Silence before the film starts, everybody, because it was the most interesting film out of all the Star Wars saga. There was no little furry monkeys running around, no stupid droids, no Jar Jar Binks. It
Whoop.
was the definitive film of the whole saga.
Really? No furry
Well-
creatures running around? Even at the beginning, there was that animal that kidnapped Luke because he doesn't know anything better to do. He looked like Luke. I'm sorry, I have to begin this kind of aggressively, but Luke Skywalker is the worst Jedi in the history of Jedis. I'm sorry. It just
You
is.
should be sorry, because in the film, Luke Skywalker is not even a Jedi yet. He hasn't gone to see to the Dagobah to see Yoda. How the hell does he know what he's doing? And even at the midst of death, he still managed to pull the lightsaber out. Ta-da!
Okay. All right. You mean that scene in the cave when he's hanging upside down and that thing is eating
Correct.
whatever?
Yep.
That scene can it's actually a sequence of scenes in that because I watched it recently just to be able to counteract your fairy tales. But check this out. So they show the scene with Luke hanging head down and whatever, and he's unable to grab his lightsaber. Right?
Correct.
He can barely get yeah.
Yeah.
And Darth Vader almost dropped it. Darth Vader strangles someone through a video call. Now that is a Jedi. Well, that used to be a
okay.
Jedi.
Look,
Spoiler
you're
alert.
You're going well ahead. Darth Vader wasn't Darth Vader in The Phantom Menace. You know that, right?
Okay.
He was just Anakin Skywalker,
Yeah.
the child.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So Luke Skywalker is a grown adult who has been not trained by anyone, and by the time Darth Vader strangles someone through a Skype call,
Yeah.
you know, he's Darth Vader. He's had the training. He's been the Jedi. He now become. Spoiler alert, by the way. If no one's seen these films, now's the time to switch off.
Yeah, you
But-
should have
yeah.
switched off 5 minutes ago.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially when you heard, his film is going to be what it's going to be. But, at that time when he becomes Darth Vader and strangling someone through a Skype call, like I said, he's already become a trainee to a Jedi to a Sith Lord. Of course he can do that. What is Luke? He's just barely not even a Jedi. But in the midst of that danger, he still manages to pull the lightsaber from the snow. And yet he doesn't know about the Force except for what Obi-Wan Kenobi taught him.
Another crappy Jedi. And think about it.
Oh my God.
Anakin, and no, I don't think that training it has a lot to do with it, because old Ben Kenobi taught Luke, and Obi-Wan taught Anakin, right? Now Obi-Wan was a crap Jedi in itself, right?
Yeah,
And he was.
go on.
He was.
No.
Yeah. Even though he was taught by one of the greatest, Qui-Gon, he was crap. Because think about it. Anakin was crap as a Jedi until he became a Sith and right? It's all about the Force that was inside of them, right? Somehow Anakin Skywalker, let's presume that he had, let's say, 85% of the Force, right? And then he became a Jedi because he had so much of the Force in him, right? But passing on through like genetics, probably, Luke would not get the full Force passed on to him. Does it make sense?
Not really, no.
No.
Nothing you say ever makes sense. But anyway, let's move along. So your film is, as we recall, Revenge of
the Sith, yeah.
Revenge of the Stiffs,
Of the Stiff, yeah.
and you had to be stiff to watch it.
No,
That or necrophilia,
no.
that or dead or something like something along those scenes where you have to be bored out your mind and watch that film and go, that was a good film.
It was a good film because look, even people that have never seen Star Wars, and there are some of them out there, they can still make fun and quote the scene of Darth Vader saying to Luke that he is his father. Did you get my point? So
The pinnacle.
exactly.
Yeah.
When you tell my daughter, right? She's 6 years old. When you tell my daughter about watching Star Wars, there are two things that she knows and recognizes from them: C-3PO and Darth Vader.
Okay, so
So, the iconic character of Star Wars is Darth Vader. Now, there's nothing more interesting, in my opinion, than finding out how Darth Vader came to be. Because he
Okay.
is an important character, right? He's
Yeah.
powerful, he's tall.
he's centralized character.
he's,
Yeah, without him, there's no Star Wars. I agree.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. So finding out that he was actually Anakin, it's a big deal. And finding out what triggered Anakin to become Darth Vader, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
I'm not doubting that. I'm just doubting the crappy film behind it. What you just did there would have summed it up in about half an hour in the film, right? The rest of the film is just flawed. It's everyone just if you have a look at Revenge of the Sith, everyone's smiling for no reason. There's a couple of times where Obi-Wan is just smiling for no reason, and you go, "What's the acting?"
Again,
I mean,
Obi-Wan's
okay,
an
look,
idiot.
listen. At the start of the film, let me pick your film apart. At the start of the film, they're flying to General Grievous' ship,
Yeah.
the command ship. Okay, they're flying. They're turning upside down. No reason to spin around in space and do nothing whatsoever. You could have just flown over the ship and come down. No, you had to somersault and do all these weird ass maneuvers. Nothing's attacking you. Okay, then later on, you get these buzz droids which attack Obi-Wan's ship. Okay, now they're attacking. How weak is this? Instead of buzzing the ship and taking panels off, why not just place bombs on and fly off? I mean, what was the point of that? Okay, answer that one. And then 4 minutes later, they still haven't got to the General Grievous' ship. How long does it take to fly to one ship?
It depends how far that ship is. It depends on the speed. It depends on the evasive maneuvers that they're required to
Depends on the
take.
stupid pilots and the crappy floor film
And I'm sorry.
dialogue.
Look, the same person that um, thought over this space battle is the same person that did it in the original trilogy. It's George Lucas, right?
Yeah, well, George Lucas lost his mind, as we know, when he started making the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Stiffs. In The Empire Strikes Back, they've escaped and they're now moved to the planet of Hoth. Okay? They're now escaping because the Empire's found them. Right. From that scene onwards, the rebels have launched into space to try and make another base to escape the evil Galactic Empire. Luke has gone off to find a Jedi Master called Yoda. Okay, the story's building. What is the point of Anakin? I mean, Senator Palpatine, you have to be blind, deaf, dumb, and stupid not to know from the first two scenes on the first two films, Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, what this guy's about. And all of a sudden, you're going knocking on the door. He goes, "Is this Sith Lord we're talking about?" No one could work out in all of those Jedi's, even Master Yoda could work out that Chancellor Palpatine was the Sith Lord. Wow, they are stupid.
Exactly.
And
Anakin's
Okay.
the only smart one around
how?
because he knows somehow, and that's why. How come Palpatine has Anakin as his only friend within the Jedi circle?
Well, because he's trying to manipulate him.
Is he? Or did
Yeah,
he?
of course he is.
Or did Palpatine
He knows that
realize
Anakin is a young Jedi, and he's trying to manipulate him to become a Sith Lord.
that? Okay, probably, but I think that it's more likely that he scoped out all of them and he realized Anakin is the strongest one of them all. I need him. I don't need what's his face.
No, I mean, you're
Windu.
right. I mean, when in the Phantom Menace, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn test the blood of Anakin Skywalker, and apparently Obi-Wan says he's got more midichlorians than even Master Yoda.
There you go.
Right, he is the most midichlorians that anyone's ever seen. We know this.
Yeah.
My only point is the story in Revenge of the Stiffs is just so bad. If you compare it to The Empire Strikes Back, you have the build up, you have the escape, you have the Hoth battle, you have Luke going to Dagobah, meeting Yoda, finding himself being tempted by the dark side. You have
Harrison Ford.
Han Solo
lines.
to the Cloud City. You meet Lando Calrissian. There's so many different variables of that film. There's no variable of Revenge of the Sith. It's just really mind-numbingly boring. And that, I mean, Padme, you see her nowhere, and at the end she dies. There you go, giving birth.
What do you mean you
In
don't
all
see
that
her
modern
nowhere?
technology, where else was it going? That film? No, go on, say it. Where was it going?
What do you mean, like, where was it going? I mean, Padme shows up in quite a few scenes,
Yeah,
and it leaves a little bit to the imagination. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not
I mean,
saying he did, but I think Obi-Wan boinked her at least a couple of times.
Well, I think she's a bit of a pedo.
Well, yeah, because the timeline is kind of screwed up, but I don't know.
I mean, I think Anakin was really screwed up, and he probably used his mind magic to convince Padme to, on the bed with him.
Yeah. But yeah, Anakin by far is the best character of the Star Wars saga,
Okay, here's
and
a
I'm
question
taking Han Solo into account.
for you. Wow, no, just ridiculous. But here's the thing, right? If you have a look at Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones, he whoops Anakin's ass and he whoops Obi-Wan's ass. Singularly, just plays around with them like they're rag dolls. And in this one, apparently Anakin's powers, as he says to Count Dooku, my powers have doubled, Count, since we last met. Really doubled how?
I don't know, in the Jedi way somehow.
And then he managed to cut Count Dooku's hands off. I mean, at the
And
start of
head.
the fight, Dooku's throwing them around like anything, and now he loses against Dooku. In Attack of the Clones, he was throwing them around like anything. Dooku was when he threw Anakin and Obi-Wan around, and then he escapes. And after kicking their asses, now all of a sudden he loses to Anakin. Convenient.
What about? Okay, all right, yeah. You kind of took a dump on my favorite character from that Star Wars saga. What about Luke? Luke has never, ever, ever won a fight. Like never. He just gets swallowed by various creatures that George Lucas imagines, and he's miraculously saved somehow. Tell me one fight that Luke has won. Tell me one. Absolutely.
Okay, in Return of the Jedi, he basically fights his father and beats him.
No,
That's
not
one
really.
fight.
No, not really.
Bro,
No,
when
not
he when
really.
he comes in front of the Emperor, Vader says he will either join us or die. At that moment in time, when he's fighting Vader, he beats him down, and Vader falls, and he carries on hitting him with the sword, and then takes his hand straight off,
Yeah.
and then looks at his own hand. That's a fight Luke Skywalker won.
No, I don't think he won that. I doubt that he won that. No, he didn't win it.
Yeah, and then Palpatine turned around and says, "Finish it." The Emperor says, "Turn around and finish him,
Yeah.
and take his place, take your place at my side." He won that fight. He kicked his dad's ass, and then Luke grabs his lightsaber and says, "I'm a Jedi, like my father before me," and throws the lightsaber away.
Yeah, and then Palpatine starts, using his powers on his what's his face.
Yeah, 240 volts. Yeah,
Luke
out the socket. Yeah,
Dumbwalker. Yeah.
yeah.
And who saves him? Vader does.
Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Why?
and
Because
why does
he's
Vader
so much
save him?
stronger than anyone.
No. Why does
Yeah.
Vader save him? Because Luke turned around and says to Vader, he starts saying, "I sense the good in you, the conflict," and Vader says, "There is no conflict," and this is in Return of the Jedi before Vader hands him in.
Yeah, I don't buy that as a win. I'm sorry. I don't buy that as a win. Where Anakin fought hundreds of adversaries and he won every single fight. With
Okay,
the exception of the one against Obi-Wan. Because he was just, a bit too cocky. And in the
Okay.
words of the greatest douchebag of the saga, don't get cocky, kid.
Yeah. Well, how about when Luke gets captured at the start at Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi, and he grabs the skull, and when he's down in the pit fighting that big creature where Jabba pushes the button, he throws the skull, and the pork cutlet falls on the creature and kills him. And Luke uses the Force by throwing a dead skull at the button. What about that? Was that not a victory?
No, that was luck.
So he picks up the skull, throws it halfway across the room, hits the button dead on. That's
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah, that's luck. Yeah.
Right.
It's exactly like, what's his face? Han Solo navigating through a freaking asteroid field. It was just luck. C-3PO says like, oh, the chances of are like 520 million to 1. Yeah, never tell me the chance.
3,720 to 1.
Whatever. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter, like, it was, sheer luck. And where does he go? Again, another idiot. He lands inside of an animal. How can you land inside of an animal?
Well, that's simple enough. There's a big, massive crater there, and he flies the ship into it.
No, I saw
How
the
does he-
scene. I remember.
I mean, there
it,
wasn't
yeah.
a sign saying, "Welcome, animal at home. Please don't land here," was
No,
there?
but you see teeth going in. Or unless he went in through the...
No, he didn't go in for what you just did. He went in through the other end. The mouth was open because he flies out the mouth.
When he flies out the mouth, you can clearly see teeth.
Yeah, but
He
that-
didn't
and
see them
that's-
flying in? That's just being an idiot.
No, if some animals can retract their teeth, as well as I do. Sharks do it all the time. Sharks have 2 layers of teeth.
All right, go on. All right. Yeah. Look, I wasn't going to say this, but apparently
Say
you
it.
kind of worked me up a little bit, and I'm going to have to say it. I'm sorry. Why'd you like terrorists, Sage?
Why do I like
Why
terrorists?
do you like terrorists?
I,
Why
I,
are
I
you
don't like.
supporting Osama bin Laden? Why do you like terrorists? The
I'm not
ISIS and
support.
all of that?
Okay,
Because
first of
Luke
all, Osama bin Laden.
Skywalker
Hmm.
is part of the Rebel Alliance. That means them mofos are against the law. Why would you do that, H? Why would you support someone that took down the Twin Towers?
Okay, first of all, Osama bin Laden's dead.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So
Second of thing, what you're saying is really douchey right now. And I've never supported Osama bin Laden because I'm brown, ladies and gents. He's picking on me. Sorry, I don't talk like
don't play
this.
the
Okay.
brown card. That's not
No,
gonna
no,
work.
it's true, right? And the second thing is, if the government took over is a tyrannous government, of course there's going to be a stand up for the good to say, what you're doing is wrong. Just because someone makes a law, does that make it a right law because they're in power? No.
Maybe it's for the
Someone needs to
greater
stand
good.
up to bad people. Like your daughter stands up to you and says, "Daddy, you're wrong." It's exactly the same thing.
It's all a matter of perspective. Why?
It's a matter of
Exactly, just like douchebag Kenobi says. It's a matter of perspective, Luke. What if the Empire is actually right? What if the Empire is the EU? And what if the Rebel Alliance is the United Kingdom? What if? I'm just saying. It's all a matter of perspective, right? What if
no.
the EU actually is a good thing? And you
The
guys
EU
just
is a
want
good
to
thing.
get.
I'm not saying the
Yeah.
EU is a bad thing. The
There
EU
you
is a
go.
good thing. We're going off topic.
Yeah.
Go back to the film with Star Wars.
It's a close analogy. It is a close analogy. The Empire wants just like globalization, kind of. I don't know how to say it. Universalization of whatever.
No, they want to
You
take
know.
control of the galaxy and all the systems within
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Not take control. Unite everyone. Everyone would speak the same language. Everyone would have the same currency.
No.
The trade federation
It's
would
a
be
dictatorship.
dissolved.
It's not uniting anybody. It's not
dictatorships
democracy.
work.
It's
work.
a dictatorship.
And they
The
work.
emperor was nothing but a dictator, and all that. Even Darth Vader, your favorite character, turned around and said, "Both. If we stand both, we can defeat the emperor." He's a power hungry just as much as everybody else. Hence, at the end, he just in Return of the Jedi, he throws him straight off the top of the building after he realizes, hey, you know what? I'm actually kind of good.
Yeah, but the idea of an empire is a good idea. Okay, let's say that Sidious, he had a couple of screws loose. Yeah, like every ruler that gets to that level, right?
Right.
But the idea of an empire is a good idea. The fact that the rebels want to take over it, that's just weird. It's just weird. It's like
No.
it's
Oh.
like Monaco declaring war on France. No, sit still.
If France did something douchey, then yes.
No, why? Maybe it's for the
I mean-
greater good. Maybe they had better specialists in future forecasts.
Listen, here's the thing. George Lucas was so weak in that film that he gets an idiot called Jar Jar Binks to go from a swamp idiot to a senator.
They-
Really?
They needed another in my opinion. I don't know. I didn't really read up on. stuff
Nobody
like
needs
this.
Jar Jar. Nobody.
I think that they needed a character to appeal to the kids.
Yeah?
So
They're called Ewoks.
They needed a screwy one. They didn't have Ewoks in the new trilogy.
Yeah, because
Right.
the prequel. Yeah, correct. I'll give you that.
So they didn't have Ewoks. So they needed C-3PO doesn't really show up that much. So they needed a character to appeal to the kids. So what did they think? They thought, you know what, Jar Jar Binks there, Misa, what's up? I'm not gonna dispute that. It's a retarded character, and the fact that Jar Jar Binks speaks like an old black woman from Brooklyn and nobody noticed so far is just cringy.
I'm sorry, but when you go why introduce Jar? When you've gone from, Hoth, and you've gone to Dagobah, and you've gone to the Cloud City, how can you go to a city under the water, where the Gungans live? Really? Gungans? It's something like comes out of somebody's nose. Oh, I've got one Gungan coming out. Hold on a second. Yeah, I mean, that's not even a film, bro. It's
Yeah.
just terrible in every aspect.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think that Darth Vader is such an important character in the whole saga
No doubt.
that we need to know how he came to be. And
Oh.
therefore, Revenge of the Sith is a very important movie in the whole saga.
I'll give you that it's an important movie, and I'll give you that, Darth Vader, we need to know how he came about, how he gets converted, and how he becomes dark and becomes a Sith Lord. It's just the rest of the film is just so bad. The acting in the film is just so bad.
Let me tell you something. Watch it like I do. I only watch the Anakin scenes. I don't really watch a lot of the other stuff. I'm on Twitter, on Instagram, on the other app that nobody uses that begins with P and ends with Ornhub. Um, And when a scene with Anakin comes up, okay, so that's why he's so ticked off, you know?
Here's the thing: you've just defeated yourself. If you watch the whole film and not just Anakin, you will wake up and realize this is such a douche movie. Why am I even watching this?
I'm not debating that. I told you I don't like Obi-Wan. And the scene with him on that lizard that goes like that lizard makes the sound of my car alarm.
Yeah, that's Attack of the Clones, by the way.
It's in the Revenge of the Sith as well,
No.
isn't it? Oh,
No.
okay. Anyway. All right.
So there you go, ladies and gents. So his argument is absolutely flawed, and he's absolutely wrong. I mean, if you guys agree with me, just write down in the subject and go, H is right, and Rob looks like a monkey on a tree, throwing bananas, empty banana skins down.
I win this
You're
argument.
wrong, Rob. Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
I win another one. Yay. All right.
Anyway, so now we've established that I'm right and you're wrong, and Empire Strikes Back is the best film out of all the Star Wars saga films. I think we should agree that I'm right. What do you reckon?
I'm not going to agree that you're right, but I am going to agree that you are 45% right.
No,
I'll give you 45%.
you need to add another 50 to that, and then we call it correct. 95% right.
55 and that's all you get. I'm sorry. Are you
I'll
really
take-
trying
I'll
to
take
haggle
it.
with me?
No, I'll take it. Obviously, no one haggles with you.
Yeah,
Jesus
don't.
Christ, I'll take 55.
All right.
But
You're
when it comes to
55% right.
Revenge of the Stiffs, wow, that's like a 10% film. It was, don't get it was entertaining. It was light. It was funny in places. R2D2 suddenly does stuff what he could never do before.
Yeah.
I mean, why doesn't R2D2 ever fly ever again in any of the other Star Wars sagas films?
Because the other Star Wars films are made in the freaking 80s or 70s. They simply didn't have the technology. They didn't have the CGI power. That's why. That's why the original trilogy looks not great.
Okay, but when you come to when you have a look at The Force Awakens with Rey and Finn, when you have a look at what's the other films called? The Force Awakens.
The Last Jedi and Rogue One.
No, the Star Wars films, the saga, the last three. Anyway, when you look at the last three films in the whole series, R2D2 is just a moron. He can't hardly do anything that he could do before.
He's a trash
Yeah.
can with wheels.
Well, okay, it's a bit harsh, but yeah, let's say.
Rubbish bin. Sorry. That's what I meant to say.
Now you're just taking the mickey out of me, aren't you?
I just freaking gave you 55%. What the hell do you want more?
Wow, thank you, Your Highness.
I gave you 55%.
Thank you.
That's
The
exactly.
the Osama bin Laden worshippers now thanking you.
Okay.
Anyway,
all right. You're right. I'll give you that. You're kind of right.
What? That I'm a Osama bin Laden supporter?
No. That probably the original trilogy is a bit better than the new trilogy, but I'm really a big fan of Darth Vader, and I wanted to know how he came to be, and therefore that's why I liked and I enjoyed the other movie.
Okay, I'll let you have that. Anyway, for our next podcast, I was thinking if how would you like to discuss who the best superheroes are?
Oh,
Marvel or DC? Let's go Marvel or DC. Which one would it be? Both on equal playing field.
there's a few good from there. There's a few good from the other part. So I don't know. I don't.
Hmm.
Let's go one by one. You pick
Okay.
you pick two, and I'll pick
So
two.
okay,
How's
sounds
that?
good. So what we do for the next podcast, we'll sit down and we'll have a discussion, and I'll prove to the viewers that you're wrong again.
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's very simple. And yeah, we'll attack this subject and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Sounds
Your
good.
thoughts? Good? Bad?
Yeah,
Ugly?
yeah, sounds real good. Yeah, yeah. If you come up, if you tell me that Superman's the best superhero because he's got super in the name, I'm never talking to you again.
No, no. Okay, Superman's out of the equation. No Superman
Or Supergirl.
or Supergirl.
All right, good.
No, nobody with the title Super ahead of the name.
Okay.
That includes you, Super Rob, as well. That's you.
Super Rob sounds like an industrial solvent.
Didn't want to say anything. All right. Anyway, listen, Rob. It was I'd like to say goodbye, Rob.
Yeah, goodbye, Rob.
And ladies and gents, we'll see you on the other side on the next podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. And anything else to add, Rob?
Yeah, glad you guys were here to watch this. And if you like the video, like the video. And if you want to see more of this, just subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next week.
Adios.
All right.